Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Art of Confident Living, where we talk to people who've been through stuff. They've navigated reinvention, they looked at their purpose, and they're all about leaving their legacy. And today's fantastic guest is Sarah Perrett. So, Sarah, hello, how are you? And tell everybody just a teeny bit about you, because as we talk, then we can explore all the wonderful things that you are doing and the purpose behind that.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Thank you so much for having me on to have this lovely chat. I'm really excited. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure it is going to be exciting. So my name is Sarah Perrett, and I call myself a multi-potentialite because I do a few things and have done lots of things. The main thing that I do now is I work as a insight happiness coach and a quantum coach. I work in the areas of health, well-being, life, improving whatever you can to have a better life experience, healthier, happier. I also have a past as a graphic designer, brand consultant. That was my main thing for 33 years. So they link together nicely actually because brand is all about core values, what's at the essence of a business or a person. So I spent lots of time in strategy work delving into whys and whats and who's and how's, and those two kind of sort of I feel like they blend quite well together. So just supporting people in better, really.
Do you know, that's really interesting, your connection between brand and well-being. Many years ago, my background is marketing and I moved into personal branding. And whenever I talked about branding, I looked at all of those things, but also health and well-being, because I think your brand is everything about you, no matter who you are and what you would do. And I'd often, when I lived back in the UK, I'd go to lots of like breakfast meetings and stuff, and I'd be looking at people stuffing their face. I am a big advocate of health and wellness, stuffing their faces and looking at like the color of their skin and what they were like, and I'm thinking, not very judgmental of me. It's not good for your personal brand to be eating all those breakfasts every single day of the week. So it is kind of interesting how what we started off at kind of ripples through to how we end up at, and like you say, our core values and stuff like that. And I notice on your website you're on you talk about this kind of this self-healing mission, which takes me all the way back to your story. And you talked about up until 2013, you were a lost soul. And I think many of us are, but we kind of don't admit it to anybody. Kind of, you don't have to delve into your story unless you want to, but take me back to that kind of discovery, because I wrote this down. I realized it was down to me to find a way to help myself. And I think that is such a powerful message that kind of brings everything that we do, every part of our life into a very powerful perspective, because actually everything is down to us, not just our healing, but everything we do. You know, coming back to your brand consultancy, we were talking before we came on air, and we talk about lots of people using AI and whatever, but actually it's down to us to find the right way, maybe not the easy way. But let's come back to this 2013 Lost Soul. Tell me a little bit about her.
Yes. Well, it's interesting actually because a lot of people that I talk to that end up in this well-being, healing, health, helping others zone have had a very tumultuous journey to get there. I feel as though that's training, because how can you lead another through a path of darkness if you've not been in the darkness yourself? So I've been in the darkness many times, literally from birth, had a very difficult upbringing, difficult things going on at home. And so I dealt with that when I became a young teen and in my early 20s by diving into substance abuse, drinking, all sorts of things to like numb out all the stuff that I can now see was inside of me, all the trapped emotions and emotional baggage and stuff. That didn't go well. Um, but I kind of like found myself through that and culminated in I married. I had my beautiful boys, my little babies, and I became very ill with postnatal. It was like borderline psychosis, really. My doctor wanted to put me into a mother and baby unit, like a psychiatric unit. I was very, very like lost. I can't remember that period of my life. A lot of it, I think I was like on Mars or something. So that was very difficult trying to manage through as a mum of young children. Not, I didn't tell anybody what was going on. Everyone's thinking what's going on with her. Eventually, I realised it got picked up, so I had a journey there, and a few other things sort of happened, life circumstances that just pushed my marriage into a very difficult space. It was very uncomfortable what was going on there between us. I think we were both just dealing with stuff that was clashing. It just, yeah, it was like two chemicals mixed together, boom. Um, so I came out of that. And then I went into a relationship with someone new. That was not a healthy relationship. It was sort of even worse. It was like frying pan fire. That exploded massively. And it just kind of, on the back of all those years, because I had the postnatal illness 8 years, so it was like 10 years of living hell, to be honest with you. And I had things like OCD. I would like wash my hands to the point they would bleed all the time and crack. I had vomit phobia. I had so many phobias. I had agoraphobia. I'd get the boys ready and think I've got to take them out, but I couldn't get out the door till 5 o'clock at night. Everything was shut. So yeah, all sorts of neuroses and things. And so it culminated in this kind of explosion of this relationship that sent me into the dark hole of despair. And honestly, if it wasn't for my children, I would not be having this conversation now because I just lost myself completely. But I've always said I'm the captain of the ship because I was a single mum by then. I've got these two little boys depending on me, so I had to be okay. I had to find a way. And I just realized that whenever this chaos was going on in my life, I was always there. Whenever a relationship broke up, I was always there. I seemed to attract the same person in a different body through every relationship was a common theme, and I was always there. And so I reached a conclusion, it's me. And it was sort of like an epiphany. And so I went on this kind of self-healing mission. I just thought I had to have faith because I'd never done this or thought this way before. If I change something in me, then the logic is that out here should change, my reality should change. So I began reading loads of books, like Eckhart Tolle, Byron Katie. I found Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks videos online and started listening to her, channeled materials, started meditating, having kind of interesting meditative experiences. I went and trained with a Tibetan monk about mindfulness, did lots and lots of self-healing work. And I just felt that there was all these emotions inside of me. I actually felt like a stuck goose at some point. All this stuff had been pushed in and it was like here. And I didn't know how to get it out. And I hadn't ever wanted to look at it. It was too scary. But I just thought, if I don't get that out, this is it really. And then I was sitting at my desk one day and I'd been doing all this inner work, consuming books, consuming information, trying out techniques. And funnily enough, I was working on a Hewlett-Packard brochure, designing the brochure. And because I felt so awful inside, I would have Esther Hicks or like a motivational video in the top of my screen running as I was working to keep me going. Excuse me. And I just sort of had this mad awakening experience at my desk within 20 minutes. And it just sounds so strange, but it felt like the top of my head opened up and like all this information poured in from somewhere. And I had these huge concepts coming in about people, relationships. I could see my whole life, every relationship I'd had, where it had gone wrong,
Mm.
how people interacted, but there was an outside interaction going on, like a mask. And then what was really going on, I could see what was inside everyone else and me. And I felt like and this is going to sound strange and out there, I felt like I became the creator, like part of that creator consciousness. I went back home and saw, like, I didn't literally see Earth from the outside, but I sort of psychically, I suppose, I could see Earth, everyone on it, and everything that was going on inside of them, as well as what the double story, the duality, the light, the dark. And I wrote all these concepts down madly, and they just kept coming. I'd get one written down, the next one would come along, the next one. I realized I'd been a victim. I'd been a self-inflicted victim. I always thought the negative story. I always saw the negative. And there's always positive, negative in your life, but what you choose to focus on, I learned, law of attraction, you get more of, I believe.
Mm.
And so I always went pessimistic. And I thought, my goodness me, I've made myself a victim, and then I've attracted victimization in everything. Um, and in that 20 minutes, I literally went in pessimistic, bit victimy, but doing the best I could. I came out optimistic, enlightened, connected. Um, and I ran over to my neighbour and banged on her door with a list of, look what's just happened. She didn't know what to do with me, really. Just, what? Yeah, so I was sort of a different person.
That is absolutely incredible. Do you know what is interesting? I'm listening to you, traumatic birth, awful childhood, terrible relationships, etc., etc., etc. And then this sudden epiphany, and I'm nodding my head, going, yeah. And I'm sure that for a lot of people who are watching this, they absolutely have been through, I always call it stuff. I heard you say stuff. We've been through stuff, and then something happens. So for you, we have to thank Hewlett Packard and their brochure. Thank you, Hewlett Packard. How very strange. But we have, there comes that moment, doesn't there, where we kind of wake up and go, hmm. But I think a lot of that is through that self-awareness, through that meditation, and sometimes, even in our everyday, this is what I'm surmising, in our everyday work. So you're doing something that actually you're used to doing, and it's quite meditative. And in that moment, something has to come in. It's like, I'm not waiting any longer. Spirit, whatever it is going, hang on, this is your time. You need to, and then we start to follow a completely different path. I was really in, when you said, like all the emotions, like I laugh because I think you said stuffed goose or something goose. And I think we all feel in that way that there's this is us, this is what people see, but they don't see all that crap that's going on inside, all the stuff that the emotions are doing to our body. For example, back in 2018, my spine fractured.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it was ouchy. I couldn't walk properly for about 6 months, but I've had a lot of external physical manifestations of stuffing my emotions down because I didn't want to express them. And I know that's an area of your expertise. And I don't know if you might, can I ask you a question? Because I think the viewers, the listeners will find this really fascinating. Yesterday, I had a molar extracted. So this is the right side of my face, and I think it's like maybe three tooths in. And one of one of the things I did was I asked the tooth yesterday to start releasing. But what I feel today, and I can't describe it to anybody, and I think possibly a lot of your clients will come to you and go, I'm feeling something, but I don't know what it is. I feel like there's something in my body. So this doesn't hurt because well, I'll share a tip with everybody. I got a black tea bag, wetted it, and shoved it in there because I had lots and lots and lots of blood yesterday, wouldn't stop. And I read this and I thought, "Hmm," and it worked. But what I feel today, and I'm not asking for a diagnosis, but I'm just curious because people watching and listening will be going, yeah, I have those funny kind of. So I feel that that's come out, but there's something, and I haven't sat with it because I've been ice packing and doing things to kind of manage the situation, but haven't thought about the rest of it. What's your take on that?
So, to talk about emotions and imbalances in the body, which is I'm a body code and emotion code practitioner. That's kind of where I work, as you
Mm.
said. Um, we do literally get trapped emotions in our bodies, and that's a ball of vibrating energy. Usually, our emotions kind of, as practitioners, we believe that our organs and glands generate these emotions. So, for instance, the liver generates anger, frustration, those sorts of things. And usually, those emotions, it's energy, emotion. We feel it, it does its thing, and then, like a weather system, it moves on and another one moves in. Okay. Sometimes, for some reason, your subconscious mind thinks I need to hold on to this ball of energy. And when it does that, it puts it in your body somewhere or in your energy system somewhere. And then you've got a vibrating ball of energy, about the size of a melon to a lemon to a small melon, sitting in your field that shouldn't be there. And
Mm.
what that does is the cells and the structures in your body, they begin to be like tuning forks. They start to vibrate along with that energy and they go out of balance. And that can actually misalign bones and structures and things. And so they ask for help. They'll give you some form of signal to say, help me, which is a symptom. So when you pick up on something like that in your body, like you're saying, you feel like something's off, but you don't really know what. That's a signal. Something's gone on, or something is going on, or I need help. Like the body's saying, I need help in some way. And we have this divine healing intelligence in our body. We can ask it what it needs through muscle testing and intention. And I use the tools like the body code to actually muscle test through and ask your subconscious mind, well, what's going on here? What do we need to do about this? So, and also your teeth, they're on the ends of electrical circuits in your body and the ends of nerves. And so there's lots of different things on that circuit that having a tooth out, you think, oh, I'm just having a tooth out. It's just going to affect locally there. Actually, it could be affecting the whole of your body, your organs, your glands, depending on what's on that line there. So we could, if you want to, I could open up my app, the Body Code, which is by a guy called Dr. Bradley Nelson, who's amazing. Go check him out. Um, we could ask, I could, if you're okay with me connecting it.
Yes, please. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah,
My
no, push that. I was joking, how amazing this is. And just a little disclaimer that I have to say, I can't diagnose,
No.
and you always get medical attention if you're worried about anything. So, and this can work beautifully alongside any kind of medical care here.
So, Sarah, I'm guessing that your emotion code and body code, you can do it online, or does it have to be? You can do it online. There you are,
Yeah,
everybody.
that part of me calling myself quantum, I mean, it's a buzzword, it's very on brand at the moment, everyone's saying it, but the reason I call myself a quantum coach is because I work quantumly. I work in the quantum, and that means working on an atomic and energetic level, and it also means connecting with my clients energetically, which in quantum mechanics is called entanglement. So two particles become paired like twins, they become connected together. And what scientists have found with that is it doesn't matter if those particles are next to each other in a lab, or if they separate them. If they were to separate them a universe apart, they still find that what they do to one particle, it mirrors instantaneously on the other. So there's no distance, no delay. So that's what I do. I become quantumly entangled temporarily with your energy field.
Mhm.
And humans have this beautiful way that we can actually it's so compassionate. Step out of our energy field, step into someone else's temporarily to be able to help them and do this. And I always get tingles when I talk about that. And so I just think that's a beautiful thing. So I will connect in with you, and you can only do this with permission, with someone's permission.
And I was just going to say, I give you absolute permission to do whatever and to say whatever,
Thank
because,
you.
because I think anybody listening to this, it needs to be done in a space of authenticity, and that you and I are trusting each other, and I truly, I mean, hopefully I won't cry, but truly, if someone sees this in action, I have never done this on one of these before, but if someone sees something in action, then there's the evidence. So please, you have absolutely my permission.
Okay, so yes, this is always done in a safe space. The wonderful thing about this, a lady phoned me this morning very early and said, "Can I have an emergency session?" And she actually booked like a remote, which I don't even need the person present. So I'm going to do a remote this afternoon with her permission. I can connect with her energy field. I can ask what's needed and just clear whatever. So this can kind of work anyway. I know it's strange, but it's because it's quantum. Um, so I'm just going to make sure I get a pen and paper because we can go down a rabbit hole and I have to keep myself on track with this. Did you want me to share my screen so you can see where I'm going in the body code? I can, or you don't have to if you don't want to.
I think actually it would be fascinating for people to see this because, you know, I would say we all have teeth. I think a lot of people, I spoke someone on my Facebook yesterday said they're having 12 teeth out. So most of us have got our teeth, but at some point we have to have dental work. And I just have this sense that because I work with energy as well. I have this sense, not in the way that you do. I mean, my goodness me. But I have this sense that, every single tooth is connected in some way to different parts of our body. Um, and I think that anybody who is watching this, it's like synchronicity. Someone will watch that and it will just make perfect sense to them because they've had some dental work done and it'll explain why other things are going on. I know it will.
And the interesting thing as well that we find as practitioners and that Dr. Brad talks about as well is that sometimes you can get trapped emotions in your teeth. So if
Ooh.
you've got a vibrating ball of energy in your tooth, then eventually that can cause a very physical problem as you get symptoms. And then if you don't sort of deal with the symptom, then eventually that can turn into disease, which is dis-ease in the body, where it just kind of, takes over, and then you have to have that taken out. But sometimes we can ask about trapped emotions and imbalances, and when we clear them, very often the problem goes away. And
Well,
so then you have
you,
to go
there you
to
go. Never mind.
dentist, but it's what we say is anything can be anything, and we just ask. Those are our mantras as practitioners in this zone. We ask about a problem, and then we follow the guidance from your subconscious mind. It tells us what's needed, and then that allows a space for healing. We can see if the body can actually heal itself, or if we need some outside help, like a dentist or a doctor.
Wow, 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 wow. So
Yeah.
hopefully you'll just be able, I think you should be able to share your screen. I'm fascinated.
Okay, let me do this. There we go. So you can see this here,
Mm.
the top level of the body code. The body code is an app. You've also got the emotion code, which I'll show you. Anyone can get the app, but you have to subscribe. And there's a book as well. There's the emotion code book and the body code book for anyone that's interested, or contact me and I can tell you more. So what I'm going to do first, we always ask for divine help with this work. I work in unison with whatever created all of this, creative source, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to do that really super quickly and ask for some help here. Thank you. I'm just going to connect in as well. Um, what's your surname, Dale? Sorry.
Darley, do you want my birth surname?
Oh, Dale Darley. I got you.
Do you want my birth surname or the name I use?
You use now. That's great. Lovely. What a fab name. Dale Darling. I like that.
Really?
Right. Just gonna connect in with you. That's it. We're all connected up here. So, and I'm going to muscle test. I muscle test like this. It's called the finger and ring method. And when I ask a question, the answer is yes. That ring, that holds strong. My muscles are strong. If I ask a no question, that circuit breaks there. My muscles go weak. So that's what I'm doing off camera. And my fingers just drive themselves doing this really. Um, so we're going to look at your tooth and let me just find the clever thing I can search on teeth. You can see they're all in here and they come under misalignments. They go out of alignment a lot. Was it a lower tooth, Dale?
Well,
Upper tooth?
are on the right hand side.
Okay. Can you identify which one it was from here on the screen?
Hang on. So I think there was a wisdom tooth, then a tooth. So it's the third one. So it's not the wisdom, it's not the next one, it's the one after.
First molar. If you look on the screen here, can you see that first molar? Does that look about right?
I got the molar. Sorry, everybody, I've got my finger in my mouth. I got on. It's the third molar. I must have lots of teeth,
Is that from, so look on my screen here.
right?
Got wisdom on top left. Then you've got second molar is next to the wisdom. Then you've got first molar is next to the second molar.
Right, it is then, yes. So,
First molar.
yeah.
So if we go into here, um, it tells you here, so on Chinese acupuncture meridians, which your teeth are all connected to, it's connected with another meridian, which is your Yang Ming stomach meridian of foot. Organ connections, stomach, esophagus, right kidney, liver. Gland connections, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus, thyroid, pituitary, breast. An interesting thing actually that Dr. Brad talks about when he's worked with people that have had breast cancer. Interestingly, and I know we've only got two sides, and this might be sort of controversial, I don't know, but he always talks about when someone's had breast cancer, the side they've had it on, they've always had a root canal as well. There seems to be like a correlation, so there could be some connection there.
Yeah, I would
Um,
never have a root canal. I'd rather have my tooth out.
Yeah, yeah. So you've also got connection to your vertebrae as well, T11, T12, and L1, spinal nerve connections, sensory connections, maxillary sinus up here. You've got muscle connections as well, connected to your trunk, and also joint connections, big toe foot, mandibular joints, your jaw, the back of your knee, back of your hip, shoulder, elbow, hand, ankle. And so potentially, if you've got problems with that tooth, you could also have problems going in the rest of your body in those areas because it's on that electrical circuit. So it's like if you blow a fuse on an electrical circuit, if you ran all the appliances in one room in your house, the light might go out in the next room. Our bodies are the same. If we get emotionally overloaded in some way or we're going through stress, then that puts a big strain on our body circuits and systems. And you might blow a fuse somewhere. So it could be your tooth is gone, but it could be that there's something going on. You're taking stress in your body and that's blown at the tooth, if you see what I mean, or it could be the other way.
It's absolutely fascinating. I mean, I am totally on board with all of this.
Mm. Okay, so what we could do is we could ask, what do we need to clear for you just to support you in this extraction? How does that sound for you?
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Okay. And I don't know where we'll go here because I'm like the conduit of this. So I'm being guided by your subconscious is telling me where to go. So I'll just write that down. So we always formulate a question with this work, just like you do when you search it in Google. You make sure you've got a specific short statement, and then that gives a directive to your computer, which is your subconscious mind, which is an absolute supercomputer, and it goes and searches out what we're looking for. Okay.
I'm very excited. And you know what is amazing about this? This is perfect for anybody who's watching who has some stuff going on but doesn't know who to turn to, because now they can see, they have evidence of the power of of the work that you're doing. I'm fascinated.
It is honestly, it fascinates me, and I've been in it kind of nearly 5 years now. So, yeah, it's a wonderful system, and Dr. Brad is an amazing guy, brilliant backstory. Um, Go and check him out if you have time or you're interested. So okay, so I'm just going to ask, and if I'm saying your name but you don't understand what I'm saying, Dale, it's because I'm asking you, I'm talking to your subconscious mind, okay? So, Dale, we want to ask with the body code, is there something that is needed, that your body needs to support you after having your tooth extracted yesterday? Okay, we just want some top priorities, quick wins, please. What's the top priority thing we can do to support Dale with this now? Is there something on the left, on the right? So I go, is it on the left? Is it on the right? So it's something on the left. Is it energy, circuit or system we're going into? Now you'll see every level, there's like another level until we hit a base node. There's thousands of outcomes in this. So is this something on the left, on the right, on the left? A disconnection of some kind. Is this something on the left or on the right? Spirit out of spirit physical disconnection. Interesting one.
Mm.
So we have a physical body, which is our little meat suit that we can see, and then we have an energy body, which or a spirit body, which is the driver. So our body's like a car, the spirit or the energy is the driver that gets in and drives the car. What this says is that there's a little disconnection going on between your physical body and your spiritual body. So I'm just going to ask actually, is this affecting your whole body? It is. So it could be that that tooth that you had taken out, that was the disconnection between the physical tooth and the energetic tooth. So although you've had your physical tooth taken out, you will still have an energy version of that tooth in place. And that links back to things like Kirlian photography, where they cut a leaf, and the energy version of the leaf still was still on the photograph, but they'd taken the physical bit away. And things like when people still get itches in their toes, but they've had their leg amputated, and that sort of thing. So this is affecting your whole body. And this can cause physical symptoms, fatigue, discomfort, lowered immunity, that sort of thing. What's the percentage of connection we've got here? Is it more than 50, more than 60, more than 70, more than 80? Is it 70, 71, 72? 73% connected between your physical spirit body. Not too low. And it might be because of the experience yesterday, it just created a little disconnection there. So, do we need to know anything else about this? No, that's always a question. If the subconscious mind wants us to know more, we can't clear this. Have we got an associated imbalance? Yes, there's a reason that you've got this imbalance, as we call it. So, there's something underlying this that we need to clear before we can then clear this, like going down through layers of an onion. So, what's the number one thing we can do to help with this spirit physical disconnection? Is it something on the left, on the right, on the left? Something energetic? Is this something on the left, on the right, on the left? Uh, Post-traumatic trauma. Everyone's talking about trauma. That's another sort of
Mm.
very on brand these days. So this is telling me that your body's got some form of trauma that is stored in there. Is this on the left? Is it on the right? On the left? Is it? This is a physical trauma. Interesting. Is this to do with yesterday? Yes. Physical trauma from actually having that done. So
Mm.
you can see there, this sort of energy, it's like a vibrational frequency gets stuck in your body during an intense trauma, physically shocking thing or stressful event. And you can see here it says an injury like a fall, hit, car accident, illness, surgery. So you've obviously just had that tooth taken out. And your body's got a little bit of trauma going on there. Is there an associated imbalance? Yes. Something related to this.
This is absolutely fascinating. I'm
I know.
like, I'm hooked.
I know. So I always come back to the start screen with an associated imbalance to find out, okay, so what do we can't clear the physical trauma until we find out what this is. Is this something on the left, a toxin circuit system, something energetic? Okay, something on the left or on the right? Oh, interesting. Allergy or intolerance. Okay, on the left, on the right, on the left, is it physical? This is an idea intolerance. So this is have like you have a physical intolerance. People are intolerant to food and things like that. This is being intolerant to an idea, and this is an energy that will be sitting in your body somewhere, holding that physical trauma in place. So this could be an idea that's linked with any thought, emotion, concept, event, action, person, place, or thing that you have trouble processing. So let's find out what this is. Can we find it on the chart? Yes, thank you. Is it column A? Column B is an odd row. Okay, thank you. Row 2B. Okay. Is this two? Thoughts. Interesting. There's an idea intolerance going on to your own behavior. Does that mean anything to you in any way, shape, or form?
My own behavior. Is that connect? Do you mean my behavior connected to the tooth or just anything in life?
Not necessarily, no. It can be actually, let's get you an age. So if you don't mind saying,
Oh,
what's your
no,
age?
my age. Ooh, 64.
Gosh, you don't look it. You look amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So when did this come in? This idea intolerance. When was this chap? So was this before age 20? Was age 27, this first came in. So, it would have been something going on around that age. So it's a 3-year window, could be 26, 27, 28. Something going on there that gave you this idea intolerance against your own behavior.
Now I'm gonna start laughing because do you know what popped into my mind? Um, we talked about relationships. So as part of your story, you were talking about relationships, and I was nodding my head. I was married at that time, and it wasn't a good marriage. I've had a number of relationships like yourself that weren't good. And interestingly, last night I was doing a meditation and I thought, oh, this makes me feel, I just want to be held. Like, why can't I find a relationship where somebody has integrity and respects me and things like that? And that was all in my mind last night. But when I wake up this morning and I don't know if this is connected, I'm like, no, no, there's nobody out there like nobody. No, they're all, So I suspect, and I can't be, I don't know, but they're the things that have popped up in my mind. I've gone back to that marriage. I've popped into last night, and then I've popped into this morning where I'm like, nope, 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 nope. So that's truly fascinating to me because last night I was like, oh, I just want, I want to, stand in someone's chest, if you like, and be held. Honestly, like, I've got 3 dogs, and it's like you can't force a dog to put its paws around you and go, oh, Mummy, I'm going to hold you. So, to me, that's truly fascinating how you've taken me there, and I've just come back to today, yesterday. That's truly incredible.
Well, the interesting thing as well is we make assumptions about what we're feeling, what we're experiencing in our bodies, emotionally and physically. Oh, yeah, I feel this because of that. Oh, it's this because of that. But in this work, what I've learned is that anything can be anything. That's our mantra that we're taught. And it could be that how you were feeling today when you woke up is nothing to do with your tooth and everything to do with that thought you had last night, but you've pinned it on the tooth. But it doesn't matter because we've got there anyway.
That's absolutely fascinating. So, if you, I'm assuming you would like to close.
Yes, yeah, and we need to clear this for you. So, Have we got an associated imbalance on this? Well, actually, we don't. And it's brilliant how this works out timing when your subconscious also guides us in the time that we have in sessions, which works wonderfully. So, what I'm going to do is clear these three things if it allows me to. I've got a magnet here. I'm going to run it over my governing meridian. And you just need to have the intention of I'm just letting this go now. Okay. So, we're setting the intention to clear this idea intolerance for Dale of your own behavior. We're totally correcting Dale's relationship with the idea and the concept of your own behavior. Thank you. You don't have to say a script when you do this, but I do. It's part of my practice for some reason. So that's cleared. And just for the other two things, anything else we need to do for this physical trauma? No. So we're just setting the intention to clear and release this physical trauma for Dale. We're totally, completely releasing this, transmuting it back into love. Thank you. That's released. You might feel something on release. Most people don't, but some people do. Okay. Anything else we need to do for this spirit physical disconnection for Dale? No. So we're setting the intention to completely reconnect Dale's spirit body and physical body. We're hooking them back up, rewiring them, and putting that connection back to its perfect blueprint factory settings, making sure that her spirit and her physical body are working as a team, communicating well, both happy, joyful in their jobs, having a great time, and surrounded by love. Thank you. Oh, I got tingles with that one. That's it. So all those three things are now reset for you. So how are you feeling?
I actually feel quite emotional. And while you were doing the magnet thing, my body is quite sensitive to treatments and stuff, but I just felt like I needed to breathe, like I needed to breathe right into here and right up there, but at feeling emotional. So I'm not going to cry on the screen because I said I would.
Yeah.
Sarah, I mean, I know that wasn't scripted, and that was just the most incredible demonstration of who you've become. And, I don't need to ask you any questions about the work that you do because you have now done that and demonstrated. I'm like, I don't I see, I'm kind of lost for words now. So I'm supposed to be interviewing you and you've done a healing on me. But that is such a perfect example of the power of your work, the speed of your work. Like, I didn't have to go back into any trauma, I didn't have to relive anything. And I felt really, really held in a space of compassion. And I didn't know I mean, I didn't know you were going to do that, and I didn't know what was going to come up. And I feel like, what a gift to have you on someone's side. So that kind of leads me very nicely into, do you have, like, what advice would you have for somebody who is feeling, I'm going to say off kilter? Something's not right, they can't put their finger on it. What's the kind of the first thing that you would advise them to do? Obviously, we want them to connect to you, but if they're sitting in that space of going, I don't know what's going on, what could they ask? And what could they do?
I just want to thank you first, Elle, for putting yourself. That's a very vulnerable position that you just put yourself.
I feel the emotion in my body, and I'm like,
Honestly, but we're doing this with the intention of just supporting others. So honestly, all power and well done to you for that. That's amazing. Um, I would say go just connect with yourself first of all and become still, stop. When you don't know what's going on in any situation, the first thing to do is just stop and then notice something's going on. And I teach people with anxiety and things like panic attacks and stuff, this as well, to just stop what you're doing if you can, notice something's happening, and then if you can find a quiet space to go to, even if you're at work or something, and you can go to the loo. Everyone can just excuse themselves for the loo, put the lid down on the loo and just sit for a minute and just go quiet, breathe. Absolutely key. Breathing connects you in with your inner world. And you don't have to know anything about breathing exercises, just two or three deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. shut your eyes to cut off what's out here and the noise, and just with those breaths, move your awareness inside your body, wherever you're feeling something, try and find it in your body and ask it, what are you trying to tell me? Because every sensation, emotion, symptom is a message, it's a signal, it's trying to give you information, it's intel, basically trying to tell you something. And what I've learned about these trapped emotions and energies and imbalances is they're like toddlers. You know, if you've got kids, you know that when a toddler wants something, it starts off with mom, mom, dad, dad, and it gets louder and louder until they're like having an absolute hissy fit. And these things in our bodies, imbalances, they're the same. They'll throw a hissy fit if you don't listen. So I say that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is I am not special in this work. Anyone can do this. And if you're interested in doing this, whether it's to actually do it as a job or not, it doesn't matter. If you just want to learn it for yourself and for your family, to help your family and friends, then you can buy the book, The Emotion Code. It's not my book. This is where I started. I got this book to help myself by Dr. Brad Nelson. This book's got the whole emotion code technique in it. And that's level one. Body code is level two. It has emotion coding as well. You can use that book to learn how to muscle test and to actually ask your subconscious, just like I did with you, Dale, and muscle test through what's going on, what do I need to clear on this to feel better, and you can get miracle results. That's how I started in lockdown. My body, I had IBS, I was really not feeling good, couldn't get to the doctor, asked for some help, and then listened to a podcast, and this book was mentioned. I got it, and I held the book and did the thing, and then my body shifted, as you've just experienced. The lightness and the pain got a lot better, and 7 months later I qualified as practitioner. So but they're the main key areas, I would say. First, start to build that connection with your own body and listen.
You know, it's really interesting that you have given people a tool that they can go and use. But what I found interesting about our session is because you asked me questions, I was able to sit and do what because you guided me, and I think books are amazing. I truly do. I mean, it's part of what I do. Um, but honestly, it doesn't beat working with a person. It truly, truly doesn't. I mean, books are fun. I've learned, like you, a lot from books and videos and courses, but I think the greatest breakthroughs are when you find the right person to work with. And on that note, how do we find you?
So if you go to thehappinessgap.co.uk, I'm on there. If you believe that you might, well, we've all got trapped emotions and imbalances, to be honest with you, but if you want to see how they're actually affecting your life, I've got a quiz on there in the top tabs of the website that you can go on. It's a free quiz and it asks you about 20 questions, and it will actually show you where trapped emotions and these imbalances could be affecting your life. I'm on Instagram. I think I'm the Happiness Gap HQ, and they're kind of my main platforms. I'm starting TikTok as well, and I've got a YouTube channel as well, which I'm starting to put some videos onto. So, yeah.
Sarah, I'm utterly blown away. And I think, when people watch this, your diary is going to be completely filled up. Thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. So everybody, there's a book, but there's a real person, and I would highly recommend that you go and talk to Sarah. Sarah, thank you. And thank you, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you.